How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Thin Man Brewing. Not the first Thin Man beer we'll be reviewing on the channel, but the first kind of, I don't know, non-canned Thin Man, I believe. This be their dummy. Yeah, this is a Belgian-style pale ale with Brett and dry hop with Nelson Sauvin hops, coming in at 5.8% alcohol by volume. This is the first time I've seen an offering like this from them, period, but I actually picked this up, like, really close to my house, so it's kind of cool to see these kind of beers coming out of Thin Man, not only coming out of Thin Man, but being available semi-close to where I live. Kind of makes sense. Mike, Blue Monk Mike, he's a huge Belgian and beer influence in the Buffalo area, but very heavily Belgian influenced stuff. And it kind of makes sense for this stuff to be flying out there. There's no date on this, so I have no idea how old it is, but we're going to open it and we're going to drink it. Today is 11/11/21. Oh, nice little sun there. So, you could probably reverse engineer the bottle date on this. I'm sure this is kind of a one-off thing. Who knows? So we'll see what's what. So you're talking about a Belgian pale ale with Brett and Nelson Sauvin hops. So we're talking about a lot of maybe like vinous characteristics, a little bit of dryness, a little bit of kind of yeast estery fruitiness. Hopefully that's the case as far as the beer looks. Looks about on par. Label-wise, I really like it. It's like a bunch of crash test dummies, but I guess beer test dummies? I don't know. Dummy. Anyway, but I really dig the art design and how it's kind of laid out. So almost 2 fingers because of this guy. Pour of a super creamy, fluffy head. Pretty uniform bubbles throughout the whole thing. And this nice, soft, what you'd expect from a Belgian-style pale ale. Kind of Belgian-style farmhousey ale kind of look to it. Has that soft little unfiltered haziness, but nothing too turbid. Nice, rich kind of straw glow to it. We're off to a very good start here. Let's get nose. I mean, it's kind of exactly what I wanted. It's giving you mostly a lot of like yeastiness to it. So I believe you're getting a little bit of Belgian yeastiness in here. There's a little bit of bubblegum vibes going on in there. A little bit of bubblegum, nothing too crazy. You are getting a little bit of kind of soft citrusy notes. Nothing too overtly citrus, but leaning a little bit of citrus. Could be the hops, but I'm thinking that's the Brett at work there. There's a little bit of soft, kind of like, I don't want to do the typical barnyard thing, but it's a little bit of kind of like, it's just, orchardy, kind of fieldy, kind of farmsteady kind of smell to it. If you live on a farm like I do, you go out there and you get the flora and fauna and that kind of thing. That comes across pretty much when you have all this kind of growth of animals and things like that. That's kind of what you're getting here. And very, very soft. Everything here is gentle, except for that bubblegummy thing, which now is kind of elevating a little bit more to like a banana for me. And I mean, it's sweet and almost like custardy pie like banana. I'm not getting huge overt funk off of it. I'm not getting a huge hoppy presence. Really is more kind of Saison farmhouse ale like than it is kind of Belgian pale ale to me. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. So that Brett and those hops really do kick into overdrive, actually, on the taste of this beer. You still get that banana ester in there. You still get this nice little soft sweetness, this little custard pie, kind of creamy, kind of custardy pie kind of thing going on. But you're hit with a decent amount of dryness. So there's this nice kind of dried out Brett kind of characteristic that also brings along a little bit of kind of citrus notes with it. Not even a little, a decent amount. I think it's a combination of Nelson Sauvin with the actual Brett in here, to where it's more like taking that custard pie and make it like not necessarily key lime pie, but having a citrus kind of note to it. You do get a soft kind of very gentle kind of vinous characteristic off of those Nelson Sauvin hops. So, but with a mixture of that citrus and the way it comes off, which I think is coming from the yeast and the hops itself, it's more of like a very kind of very spicy kind of white grapiness more than anything else. A lot of dryness in here and a lot of spiciness, a little bit of like a pepperiness, white pepper, kind of cardamom kind of thing going on. It really is quite electric for 5.8%. And the coolest part about the beer is that it gives you a lot of that sweet notes. I'm talking custard, I'm talking pie, I'm talking those things. So I am kind of mentally in this place of it being kind of a semi-desserty kind of beer. But it finishes peppery, finishes cardamomy, finishes spicy, and finishes dry. It plays that trick, that sweet to dry kind of thing, which I really do enjoy. It almost ends up being, There's session beers where, you drink them and it's kind of like even on your palate, nothing too heavily aggressive. So you want to drink one after one after one of those. This is in that similar vein, but more like that bowl of pretzels at an old timey kind of dive bar, and that you eat the pretzels, you get thirsty, so you want another beer. Well, you're having another beer, but you want to eat more pretzels, and then so the pretzels make you thirsty, and now you got to go back for another beer. That's kind of how this beer is. That kind of combination together with that sweet and kind of slightly desserty kind of vibe on the front end, and then ending in that super dry kind of slightly peppery spice kind of on the back end. It's kind of makes you kind of want to go back and take a sip. You can't really kind of put it down. It's the longest gap I think I took between sips. I think it's fun. I think it's quite aggressive for its ABV and style. So it really is actually an Americanized version of a Belgian Pale Ale. It's an Americanized version of a Belgian Pale Ale that had baby with a farmhouse ale. And I think that's a good thing. It's not uber traditional in the way it comes off. It's a little bit cranked to 11 on some of these kind of flavors and notes, but I think they work well together and ends up being a really fun, tasty beer. I have what's the word I was going to say? I have lost my total train of thought. Anyway, I'm glad I bought it. Now, it was a little bit pricey. We'll get to that. But, I think it's quite tasty. So, yeah, running that sweet kind of more desserty kind of front end, spicy kind of dry kind of back end. Really nice mouthfeel. A lot of explosion, both from the grain to the yeast to the actual hop presence here. Done and done. This is one of the better... I'm going to call it a farmhouse ale. More than a Belgian Pale, but we can put it, if we put it in both of those, it's going to be in the conversation. Probably not Mount Rushmore status on either, but it's definitely leaning more towards the top than the bottom. I think it's quite tasty and quite nice. Value and availability, like I said, I picked this up not too far away from where I live in New Jersey and the Pennsylvania side of things, maybe 10, 15 minutes away from where I live. It was $8.99. I like these to usually be a little bit more, but I'm not bitching them on. I just like it to be like $7. I don't know why. That's why I wanted it to be. It's worth what I paid for it. I'm not bitching and moaning about it. Leave you with if you like what? Will you like this? If you like farmhouse ales, you like Brettsy, you like fruit, you like that vinous characteristic you get from Nelson Sauvin, but on top of that, having that bubblegum / more like banana kind of ester you get from some Belgian, more specifically German kind of based yeastiness. I mean, it could be a yeast stress thing too, but it works in this beer. Then you like this. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Let me know if you've had this too. Beer Massive, podcasting stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying one of these right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.